Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for the month of April 2022 for the collective, as well as the forecasts for each individual life path number. Before we get into the forecast, I want to mention that this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So April is a 10-1 month. So ultimately a 1 month. We're going to be looking a lot at the energies of the 10 because that is significant, but we will break it down with a 1 as well. So we're officially in Aries season. April is considered, of course, Aries season. It's the beginning of the astrological new year. And in numerology, this year, April is a universal cycle of 1. So this is a tremendous amount of fire energy, of initiation, getting started on something, taking a big risk, saying yes to inspired action, and allowing yourself to be bold in your choices and how you move forward. This is the month to take those big ideas from March and begin to take action. Last month was sort of the incubation period, a time for creating space, exploration, and planning. This month is all about getting the green light and taking off like never before. The vision, the spark that was ignited and came in for us last month is now ready to grow and will require our focus and dedication. So there may be several things ready to take off for you this month, and you may need to prioritize your time and your energy to determine which ones hold the most value for you in getting you to wherever it is you're trying to go. So be mindful of the kindling you're using, body, mind, and spirit, to fuel the fire of this new endeavor or endeavors. So right out of the gate in April, we have this Aries new moon occurring on April 1st. So again, we start the month off with an explosive amount of energy and fire. And this one energy will be amplified. Pay attention to the emotions that surface for you really all month because we end the month with an eclipse. So there will be a tremendous amount of energy to work with, to harness, and to channel into something powerfully positive and productive. So be very intentional with how you choose to participate and how you choose to work with all of this fire. It'll be very easy to fall into either extreme of this energy this month. So be sure to listen to my moon videos covering the numerology and energy forecast for the new and the full moons for really the most comprehensive understanding of what we are working with this month when we're talking about the illumination of those moon cycles, as well as for the eclipse at the end of the month. I highly recommend listening to that again for sort of the biggest picture of this energy that we're working with, especially for April. This is a big, big month. So the month of April holds the energy of 10-1. This is an incredibly beautiful energy for bringing people together. The 10, coupled with the energy of the 1, really signifies this idea of bringing peace or contributing towards peace through the individual presence. So to understand that, when we speak of oneness, we refer to the energy of oneness, the divinity within all, of life, all beings. So again, it's an energetic focus. Oneness does not negate your own individual identity, thoughts, experiences, beliefs, individual truths, or individual autonomy. However, it is the understanding that this energetic oneness creates the opportunity for individual action to eventually have a greater impact on the whole, the collective. We are all made up of energy, and when our individual vessel moves or manipulates that energy in some way, it eventually creates a ripple effect. Therefore, our individual choices help to establish peace and fellowship through, again, our individual presence. and our individual choices. They contribute towards seeing the same energy and presence play out within the greater collective. So the point being, be very aware of, especially this month in April, of how you choose to contribute. The influence of this 10 energy also brings with it the potentiality for luck, success, honor, and material rewards. You could have opportunities to share your wisdom from past experiences in a way that can carry wide and pronounced benefits. This is a time to put yourself out there in ways that may feel very, very uncomfortable, but that also feel aligned. So be bold. Share your wisdom in ways that feel good for you, even if it's outside of your comfort zone, especially if it's outside of your comfort zone. That which you initiate under this energy throughout April is bound to be successful. This 10 energy brings with it a sort of a turning of the tide. That which you have been working towards can now come in. You may see a series of events bring great success and the potential for material accomplishment. This is the start of a new cycle, and you get to decide what direction you'll move this energy towards. Remember that the innovative ideas and the fresh beginnings, including events that appear to be merely coincidental, are all results from efforts you have already expended. You have always been the magician of your own story. So April is an incredibly powerful month, kicked off by a dynamic new moon and closed out with a monumental eclipse. Everything in between has the potential to pack just as much punch. So take inspired action this month, stand up and stand out, even if you have to stand alone initially, and be bold about going after what you truly desire, and this energy will work with you in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Remember that you hold the power when it comes to creating the life of your dreams. It may be very uncomfortable at times, but don't give that power away. Recognize where you hold the power, as well as recognizing and acknowledging where your natural limitations are so that you can also ask for help where you need it. And then accept that assistance graciously, without shame. There is power in recognizing when we need to ask for help and in doing so. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for the individual life path numbers for April 2022. Life path number 3, your animal spirit message this month is coming from Penguin. So Penguin says, the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. And so I'm not sure if there's something that maybe you've been kind of moving through that's felt really, really heavy, but it could be that this energy of this new astrological new year and all of this fire energy and this one energy is going to really push you and motivate you and help you to move through it and kind of open doors where there were previously walls. And so you may find that this time is going to be something where it's a period where you're able to move into something much lighter. So it could also be a more social time. Penguins are very social beings. And so it could be that you find almost like if you think about penguins, I don't know, like in the Antarctic or the Arctic, wherever they are. I think in the South, obviously. What is that? That's the Antarctic. You think about them and I know like the king penguins anyway, like they'll leave for long periods of time to go search for food for their family, and then they'll come back and then they'll switch out with their partner and then they'll do it all again. But it's kind of like this energy of like the homecoming. And because 3 energy is such a social energy anyway, sort of innately, it's almost like this feeling of like maybe there was an isolation that you were moving through where it felt sort of like, I don't want to say like dark night of the soul, but maybe something you were moving through that felt very isolating. And now it's kind of like you're moving into a more social period, into kind of reconnecting with people or reconnecting with family and friends or networking in a way that maybe you hadn't been able to network for a while. So just coming out of a more darker, maybe isolating period into one that's much more social. that really is more fitting for that 3 energy and your sort of larger than life, bigger personality. So this is going to be, I think, for you all, a really great month for networking, for being more social. So again, if there's parties or events that you get, or after work events or something like that that you get invited to, maybe in the past, if there was something you were maybe struggling with and you were kind of, again, more isolated or independent, I think this is going to be a great month for you all to move into a more social environment. And it could be that you're going to be the one that hosts those events. So if that idea or that vision comes in for you, then definitely entertain it. Okay, so when we look at the month ahead for you all, there's definitely something at the beginning of the month that I can see that you've been struggling with. But it does feel more like in the mind. It feels like something you've been kind of like, losing sleep over, or haven't been able to focus on other things, or haven't been able to focus your energy on where you want to focus your energy because there's fears that are coming up that are sort of unwarranted. Like maybe they happened in the past, and so they're holding you back from forward momentum because you can't stop thinking about them. Maybe every time you try to take 2 steps forward, you have this fear come in that is sort of crippling you and not allowing you to take those steps forward. And so you really need to kind of work again through those mindsets. And I think that this energy, especially a penguin energy, is going to assist you in doing that so that you can move forward, so that you can take those big steps, those big, bold steps, especially in April with all of this one energy and all of this fire. So I would say that beginning of the month especially, pay extra attention to your mindsets, to those thought processes, to the things that are not really necessarily real. Not invalidating them, right? Like I feel like it's stemming from something maybe that's happened in the past, but it's still crippling you now, and it's hindering your progression forward, your forward momentum. And so it's something that needs to be dealt with because with this energy, it's not like it's happening to you now. It's just that the effects of whatever it is that happened are still coming in, right? You're still carrying that energy with you. And so you just need to find ways to continue to move through that and to deconstruct whatever those fears are so that you're not continuing to carry it with you. What you are meant to carry with you is the wisdom, right? Like the things that will help you move through any future obstacles that you actually have to move through, that are actually happening in the present moment. And so I definitely think there's something coming in here around anything that's sort of mind or thought driven that's not actually occurring in the moment. You really, really need to take some time and focus your energy on moving through that and transmuting it so that you don't continue to take it with you. Okay, mid-month, definitely seeing some communications coming in, some things picking up for you around communication. Has to do with creativity. So you might be getting some clear insight onto how to work on a creative project, how to work with others on a creative project, how to invite others in to assist with this creative project, but definitely getting some major clarity coming in mid-month. Definitely feels around a creative project, something that you are like at the helm of the ship for. Definitely lots of insights coming in. And also, again, this is action energy. So you are going to be called to be very decisive at this time and make some very clear decisions about how you want to create whatever this is, how you want to move forward with whatever this is. So pay attention to that clarity, those insights, that communication that comes in for you. And again, any clarity that comes in, pay attention to it because it could really cut through some of those illusions that are holding you back from that progression. So definitely see a lot of clarity and communication coming in within the present moment that's going to help you on your journey. And again, it feels very much around like a creative endeavor or how you express yourself creatively. So that's going to feel good for you, I think. And again, this can be a more social time for you. So that clarity could come in through the people that you meet. So again, open your doors to networking and, inviting people in on a project or into your home for, again, networking or whatever, because I just feel like there's some clarity that needs to come in here. And I feel like it's going to come in very strongly and it's going to help to level you up in this creative process. End of the month, we definitely have some energy coming in around balance. So I feel like you might have penguin spirit coming in and things just open wide up for you and things get very hectic and your energy maybe starts to scatter a little bit. Maybe you take things to the extreme just a little bit. So I would say definitely at the end of the month, not to fall into any extreme, right? Don't go back to being like more reclusive or isolated, but don't go all into the more social side of things where you start to lose your focus or lose touch with what it is that you're trying to accomplish. There's definitely this period at the end of the month where you need to check in with yourself and just make sure that everything's moving everything's moving at full capacity, right? Body, mind, spirit, that you feel balanced. That's the key here, is to make sure that you are, tempering the situation, your energy, all of those things to make sure that you're not falling into either extreme, right? Definitely a lot coming in here about just tempering that movement forward, if that makes sense. So you want to make sure that you're just staying in balance. Really what it comes down to is the balance, right? The yin and the yang. And you think about what a penguin looks like. For the most part, they have the yin and yang colors, right? The black and the white. And so there's definitely a lot here also about balance. So just making sure that you're maintaining your center, you're maintaining your balance, and your equilibrium, and continuing to come back to that. I think that's going to be important for you, especially as you move into the coming months. So beautiful energy, definitely beginning of the month, pay attention to those mindsets. Mid-month, I see some clarity coming in for you, pretty profound clarity, I think, or communication. So pay attention to what that is. End of the month, just pay attention to that yin and yang, that masculine, feminine energy. Make sure you're continuing to balance that and you're balancing your pace, if that makes sense. So beautiful energies for you all threes. I hope it's a great month. Thanks so much for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.